Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so we have the Two of Swords. And this has everything to do with peace. Okay. Excuse me. And we're going to go ahead and take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. If you hit the little bell, it'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Okay, so we have this like real big one right here. Okay, so we have, it looks like an octopus right here. I always think when I see the octopus, I'm like, oh, it's like Cthulhu. It's like a Cthulhu thing. It's a cosmic horror. No, a very intelligent being indeed, multifaceted, and really with many abilities. Okay, so yeah, definitely a Scorpio person. Maybe sometimes dwelling in that sword energy, that airy energy, a little too much, right? You get in your head, and sometimes that can be the thing that just gets you kind of going in a loop. Okay. But you really, I think when you apply yourself to the skills that you have or the interests that you have, the things that, that you are very passionate about, that is truly the kind of, that's the key to it all. And I'm not one to say like staying busy is the only way. Like that's how we, kind of pull ourselves out of things. But I truly think that, some people really do need to have projects, really do need to have things to do and things to look forward to. You're not somebody that does very well being idle for very long, right? That's when we get into those deeper, more kind of morose and melancholy places. And once you get in there, it can be pretty difficult to pull yourself out of it. So definitely a time where, start getting involved in something. Maybe even something new. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. You can maybe go join some kind of social club or, I don't know, this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere, lots of farmers markets and that kind of thing, maybe selling some of the things that you make, or, I know a lot of readers come and watch these readings, and my husband, shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot. His name is Paul. People call him Dave a lot, and I always love that. Like, I guess his name is Dave. But yeah, people, I know a lot of readers, and I know that because I've gotten to know some of them, and we put up those posts where you can advertise your channels, a lot of readers. So maybe, if you're not doing readings currently, or maybe you only film them and you don't do in-persons, maybe starting to do in-persons, or vice versa. Maybe you only do in-persons, and maybe it's time to kind of branch out into doing them, filming them. Start a YouTube, whatever. But yeah, I think it's a good time to get involved in something, you know, something that feels maybe even kind of novel, right? Yeah, definitely that. All right, let's see. Where are we going here? So I want to look at this one, and it's interesting. We have a person standing here, and it looks like they're kind of kissing this other person, or like they're nose to nose, okay? But then if you look over this way, you kind of turn it, it looks like a person with their arms up, and the head is right here, and there's a bird flying. I'm imagining this is a dove. It is kind of a sign of peace, of course, and freedom, okay? So I feel that there has been some treachery within a relationship. Maybe romantic, maybe dating, maybe it is a close friend or family member. But I feel like there is a sense of, you know, something going down, right? Something happening, and it's been devastating because I think you were so close. Right? I still feel that you maybe are still close with them. You know, you remain close. But there is, you know, there's always going to kind of be this remembering or this. Listen, a Scorpio does not forget. Never forget. Maybe try to forgive, won't forget. But I do, and I hate to say this, I do feel like there is kind of a separation. Now, I am thinking in my mind, like, yeah, maybe you like worked it out, you're trying to work it out. But with this freedom, arms up, freedom, I almost feel like it's like putting my hands in the air. I don't know what to do here. We're kind of at an impasse, you know? And this is a time where maybe it's, yeah, I need peace. I choose peace over whatever this is, because I cannot entertain this kind of energy any longer. And so I feel like there's this real, you know, distinct and lasting decision. Okay. This maybe already took place. It feels like possibly it did. And I feel like you're kind of in these after months of that. And so life has changed. You have come into this new kind of configuration. And here we have a person on a motorcycle. Okay, you can see the wheels. And the person right here, okay, and I feel like it's just this sense of detachment from things in your life that I feel like you felt like you had to honor. Right? You had this kind of responsibility. You made promises. You took those seriously. You're a loyal person. I know Scorpio gets a bad rap for not being loyal, but I don't think that's true. I think Scorpios are usually almost loyal to a fault sometimes, you know, to a point where when something does go down, it's usually not you, but you're maybe a little more reactive at times. So then it kind of, I don't know, you kind of end up taking the fall for all of it, right? And I think it's just kind of this situation here where I could just see you kind of not only moving on, but kind of just releasing yourself from a lot of the entanglements that are surrounding this relationship with family or a spouse or a partnership or a good friend or whatever. So basically kind of leaving the friend group, maybe even leaving the family, right? Moving away, doing your own thing. maybe not completely going no contact, but it could be that, you're just very limited on a need to know basis, right? I feel that, there's a sense of a lot of stress, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of anger being alleviated by this decision. I think that this is a time where you maybe feel kind of selfish, but sometimes we have to be, right? To get that peace in our life. And, it's the sword, looking for balance, but sometimes you gotta cut things off. You absolutely do. You have to clear the way for yourself. And so I do. I feel like there is a sense of maybe some aspects of your life are not carried over into this new chapter. Okay? Now, let's see. It almost looks like birds, right? Like mama bird and baby bird. You can see this. There's a bird's head here. Here's the body, and then there's one here, and here's the head. Here's the kind of little beaks going out, taking a poo poo. It looks like, and I feel like there's I'm looking at this. It looks like maybe a star. We have a star. There's somebody gazing at it. So I feel like there's almost a sense of wanting to kind of go home, right? And so to be with maybe your mother, parents, or maybe your child coming home to you. Either way, I feel like there's a sense of really needing to be around people that you still are on good terms with and who you trust, and this sense of really needing to find some shelter to kind of grieve a little bit and heal. Okay, now if these are the people in your life that you are leaving, then it could be that you are your own mother figure, you are your own father figure, you are that inner child who feels abandoned, who feels, maybe forgotten or not heard or taken advantage of or whatever it is. And now it's time for you to take care of yourself. It's time for you to step in and really focus on healing these aspects of self. And, babying yourself a little bit. Sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes we really have to treat ourselves like we are, a child that's, totally needs care, like a toddler, an infant. And if you are somebody who can do that for yourself, it is ever so healing to be able to show up for yourself, especially if you've dealt with any kind of abandonment issues or neglect or anything like this. I think it's so important to learn how to not only just try to survive, which a lot of us we have. We, for one reason or another, our parents maybe failed in some ways, or there were hardships, or there wasn't enough. Poverty is a big thing that can cause this. Parents always working, or if you come from my generation or older, which I'm almost 40, right? A lot of times parents were not around. We were raising ourselves. Now, not everybody grew up like that, but I did. I absolutely did. And so there's a lot of healing that has to happen when we're not, when we don't have that secure bond. it can really, really influence how you go forward in your life, how you interact with others, what your interior dialogue is like, how you speak to yourself, how you feel about yourself. Do you feel worthy? Do you feel good enough? You know, are you having problems with confidence and trusting yourself? So this kind of healing, when we have this urge to kind of return to mother, return to father, you know, sometimes it is kind of a calling for us to take time to really be with our inner child. And you might say, okay, that's all great and well, but how do you do that? And that is, I think, a lot of self-talk, right? Talking yourself up. When you're feeling bad, when you want to cry, when you want to scream, when you want to have a tantrum. Listen, I'm almost 40. I want to have a tantrum at least, you know, once every other day. You know, and maybe secluding yourself from everybody else in the household, going in a room where it's quiet, and talking to yourself, you know, telling yourself it's okay. It's okay to feel this way. You know, these are just feelings. It's not forever. You're safe. You're okay. I'm here for you. And I know it might sound absolutely bonkers, but it does help. Especially if you can devote yourself to retraining your mind in the way that you speak to yourself. I love this meme I saw a couple months ago where it said, like, how can anybody try to have a good life if somebody is always being mean to them or being bullied, right? How can you feel good about life if you are always being told, you know, terrible things about yourself? Not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're ugly. You're this. You're that. It's hard. If you've ever been bullied, you know, right? So then think about, how do you talk to yourself every day? Do you tell yourself that you're doing well, that you're doing a good job? You're smart, you're funny, you're clever, you're beautiful? Or is it, you know, I'm getting old, I have these wrinkles, oh my gosh, I look terrible. You know, I hope nobody nobody looks at me today in the light. If I could just have low light all the time, I'd be straight. But yeah, you know, and when we talk to ourselves this way, of course, we're not going to feel good. Of course, we're going to have just low lows when we're always behaving this way towards ourselves. I think about, you know, with my daughter, and I try to talk to her and be realistic, right? Kids are going to say mean things to each other sometimes. Sometimes they're going to have conflict. It's just the way it is. But I would never want my daughter, you know, being mean to somebody about their body or, you know, their circumstances or whatever it is, right? You just really hope that your child will not go out in the world and do that to others. And even more so, you hope that they don't have to endure that from somebody else. So when I'm thinking to myself and I really get into a place where I'm feeling pretty, you know, POO about myself, I think, like, would I want my daughter talking to herself like this? Would I want her saying this to somebody else? Would I want somebody to say this to her? No, on all fronts, no. So why am I talking to myself like this? I don't know. But it feels too comfortable. And I'm not with it. I'm not with it. Not anymore. Things are changing around here, you know? And so, yeah, that's a part of how we start to heal that inner child. Okay? A lot of other ways, a lot of other exercises and techniques. Go and get on one of those, you know, search machines that they have out there, and look for some things to do, some exercises. All right, so we have a dragon. We have somebody dumping out water. So maybe an Aquarius in the mix here. Interesting. I'm always like thinking of what if these two are romantic, these two signs. Aquarius and a Scorpio. Oddly perfect in my mind. I feel like an Aquarius person would balance you Scorpio people out so well. Now, if you've ever been with an Aquarius person, had a relationship, I would like to know about it. I want to know, was it good? Was it bad? Are you still in the relationship? How did it work out? Or how is it working out? I'm nosy like that. So then what else do we have? The dragon, right? So the year of the dragon, we have a ram as well. Ooh, we have a fox and a turtle. Okay, so those are two separate things, right? One of my favorite sayings, and this is kind of like my own, like this is what I will get engraved on something and put it above my front door. Festina lente, right? Hasten slowly, right? It doesn't make sense. Hasten slowly, but it does, right? Be quick to slow down. Quickly go slower. And so, yeah, it is. It's about really kind of allowing yourself to be there. Be in this moment. Use that fox-like mind that you have. It's very quick. Very quick. But slow down. Be in the moment. Be with wherever you are. Whatever's going on. Feel the sensations. Take in the impressions. And allow yourself to just pause every once in a while within your day. Okay. Now we also have, again, the dragon. So this year feels like a lot of growth. It has been. I know, because I've been doing your readings. It has been a year of some turmoil, but really the end of the major turmoil and resetting things up. And so I feel that, yeah, there's more and more confidence arising. There's also things happening that feel like they might be destabilizing, but you're getting through them. At this point, I almost feel like it's like, okay, what's another thing, right? And then we have that ram. So I do feel like there is a real sense of being able to kind of navigate and traverse these tricky situations, still being in that very powerful, activated state of being. And I can only honestly see success here. It gets better and it gets better and it gets better. The focus on healing is the thing that has changed from the other times in your life where things have kind of fallen apart and you just kind of eke it out until you can like get something together for yourself and build yourself back up. This time, I think that you are really allowing yourself to look at, okay, I need to be doing some self-work here. I need to figure out what is going on. Why are there these cycles happening? And what can I do? Now we have a beautiful flower that is fully bloomed. We have a snake down here. We have a person holding a mushroom. We have the different stations of the sun up here. So it is a sense of knowledge and illumination. continuing. It's not just these moments of aha and then kind of moving along and forgetting about it. No, you are moving along in this like very like heliocentric period of your life. There's a lot of things being revealed. It just is what it is, and I do feel that this is a time where you're really getting close to the earth. I can see you being outside a lot. I can see you putting your hands in the dirt and allowing yourself these moments of just kind of sitting and taking in the winds and the sun and the birds and everything that's going on. And I feel like it's been a long time since you just paused, right? And I think it's so nurturing for your soul. It is. And here we are with the blooming. And it is. You will be flourishing once again. You're already on the way. Okay? The troubles are passing. They're I promise you, not that long from now, they'll seem a million miles away. Okay? Now we have the Wild Offering Oracle cards, and I'm just going to go ahead and flip through here, and I'm going to stop where it feels right. Flip this over. It says solitude. Once you embrace the inner divine and your own sacred solitude, the right people arrive at the right time, exactly on schedule. Without forcing or chasing. Without forcing or chasing. Perfect. Okay, Scorpio, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And, what else? If you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. Absolutely. I'm a little behind because I've been so sick. I'm feeling better. So I will be back to, I've been reading them the whole time, but not responding as much as usual. It just was like my whole life force was put on rest. there was no way around it. So and I had quite a bit of brain fog too. That was the other thing. So starting to feel much better, definitely. Hoping that Paul, my husband Paul over at Dove and Serpent Tarot, he's been sick as well. He's a little behind us, my daughter and I, and but he's starting to feel better. He looked a lot better today. So just hoping that tomorrow when he wakes up, he'll be 100%, or at least 78%. And I thank you, and he thanks you for all the love and support that we've received during, these times of illness. We have a young child, a 4-year-old almost. She'll be 4 pretty soon here. And she brings home all the stuff. So we get all them germs. And so it is. But anyways, I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. Good night.